Yo, so I hear engine sounds right now. That's the first thing. So I got a lot of things I want to talk about, recap and whatever. So let me think about all the things. Got a mental note. Let me go over it. What was I gonna say? Like numbers. Like a lot of time, on the end of video, I'll look at like the time of the amount of time that the video is, like the length of video, and like the length of the video would be like 113, like 1113 or 113 or like 33 or like it'll be 33 minutes long in 22 seconds or something like that. Like almost every time, like almost every video it'll do that. So like I don't know, I think they like implant the thought in my head to end the video at a certain time, or it just like delays it a little bit, and then it like I'll hit end, and then it'll still be recording for like a couple seconds to like do a number thing. And then there was the one video, I've talked about this before, but there was one video where like I was walking up the street, there's a cop like parked across the street from me. This is like last winter, I think, something like that, or like the start of this year or something. There's this cop like pull or just sitting on the side of the street, and he's like sitting in a really weird place on the side of the street where like cars normally don't park, and like there's no like place to, it's not a parking place. Like if you park there and you're not a cop, you'll probably get towed. You know, like he's just sitting there parked in a really weird place in the middle of the street, or not in the middle of the street but on the side of the street, but like in the middle of the street, you know what I mean? And then like I look back at the video, like I thought about it, because like the video, like I ended the video right after that, and it was like an hour and 30 it was like an hour, I don't know if it was a number thing, but it was probably like an hour and 3 minutes and 22 seconds or some shit like that. It was like almost an hour, it was like a little over an hour, right? So I had the thought in my head to look back at the cop. I think I made a short out of it and shit. But I had the thought in my head to look back at the cop, because I was like, maybe he was right at an hour in the video. I just had that thought, right? And then I looked back, and he was right at an hour in the video. When I walked by him, it was like, they like, you know, because I usually walk like at a steady pace up the street, you know, like they know how fast I walk. Generally speaking, they know how fast I walk. I might walk a little faster, slower sometimes, or whatever, but like generally speaking, they like know the average amount of speed that I walk, whatever, and they know the amount of time that's gonna take me to walk up to this place. So they parked. So they had a cop car sitting there. Like I don't know when he parked. If he was just like, I think he just like was sitting there the whole time. I didn't see him pull up synced or anything. I think he pulled up before I walked up to the street or whatever. And then he's just sitting there. at an hour in the video, and then he takes off right next to me too. He's sitting there doing nothing. I think his car was turned off or whatever, and he's just sitting there, and then he takes off right next to me, and there was a whitey driving in front of me at the same time, I think, or some shit. So, and then, like, there's been other videos where they'll do things like that, like, at a certain time, they'll do a thing, or whatever. And then, like, a lot of time, like, I'll glance over. Like, I just looked at it right now, and it said 42. It says 5 minutes and 42 seconds. It has the timer thing at the top of the screen that tells how long the video has been recording. And I'll just happen to glance over at it at a synced up moment. I just looked at it right now, and it's right at 6 minutes right now when I look at it. And, like, it's just always doing that. Like, I'll just glance over at it, like, when I'm walking around recording or whatever. And it'll be doing it, like, synced up with cars driving by me or whatever, too. A plane flying over, like, a plane will fly over me. I'll look at the timer, and it says 3:22 on it or whatever. So that's always happening. And, like, videos are always, like, a certain amount of time when I end the video. And then, like, I'll start a video at a certain time on the clock, like, the time. Like, I pulled my phone out to start recording the other day, and it was 3:22 p.m. And, like, I'm always pulling my phone out of my pocket or just, like, looking over at a clock. It's, like, happens. It's, like, they implant the thought in my head to look over at the clock, and it says 3:22, or it says 33, or it says 1, 2, 3, 4, or it says 11:11, or it says 11:13, or it says 11:84, or whatever. It's like 11:666 p.m. So, what else? The leaves. Like I said, it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. Even hearing myself talk, it sounds crazy, and I don't even want to talk about it, maybe. Because it just makes me sound crazy, and, like, other TIs might hear me, and they'll be like, this guy's a perp, because it just sounds crazy, and it's just, like, they might think that it's a thing to, like, make targets sound crazy or whatever, and maybe they do it to me to make targets think that or whatever, to make me sound like I'm, like, trying to make targets sound schizophrenic or whatever fuck. But somehow, like, all the time, I'm just saying, somehow all the time, it just seems like leaves are falling in front of me synced. Like, I think they are synced. Somehow. I don't know how. I don't know if the Adjustment Bureau is time traveling leaves. It's time travel leaves. If they're dropping a leaf out of a plane and syncing with the wind machine, or if it's Westworld trees dropping the leaf synced. If there's a sync squirrel dropping the leaf out of the tree, a sync bird flying by with a leaf in its beak, and it drops it synced, or what? I don't know if I live in the Matrix. Is holographic hologram Matrix code leaves falling, or what? I don't know if it's Agent Smith leaves, but somehow the Agent Smith Adjustment Bureau Skynet machine is dropping leaves synced, I think, somehow. I don't know how, but somehow this always is happening. So it happened a bunch of times when I was recording. I don't know how many I caught. There was, like, this leaf. There was, like, a few leaves, I think. It's like falling in front of me right as these birds fly in front of me, and there's like somebody pointing up the street at the same time, I think, or some shit. Probably a car honking at the same time or some shit. This is just always happening. Like I'll walk across the intersection, a leaf will fall right in front of my face, like right directly in front of me, and like a car will honk right as the leaf is right here in front of my face, and then it'll just drop right down. And I just glanced at the time on the thing. It said 10:33. But I don't know how it happens, but the leaves just always seem to be seen. And then like the wind will blow sometimes, and a leaf will like come out in front of me on the sidewalk, and it seems like it's seeing sometimes. And then again, like it's not like every leaf falling, and not like every leaf that I see. Like there's a lot of leaves falling, you know. So like, it's not like every leaf, and it's not like every bird that I see, you know. But it just seems to happen a lot. Like I'll see a leaf. Right as a squirrel runs out in front of me in car honks or whatever the fuck, I'll just see it like multiple times a day, every day. At a crosswalk, whatever the fuck, I'll see leaves. So, I'm just saying, and there's multiple videos where it happens, and a lot of time it happens, and like I won't say it, but you can see it though. And I think another leaf, I think a leaf like fell right in front of the camera lens on that video too, the last video. I haven't watched it yet, but it fell like right in front of my face though, and like right in front of my phone. I think it fell right in front of the camera lens, and it was at a synced up moment, and there was other things happening in front of me or whatever. At the same time. So, saying, I know it sounds crazy. It is crazy, but I think it's a crazy sync thing. And then, like I said, like all the time, I'll see like cotton balls flying through the air sync, which that like they can just like it's, you know, with the heart machine, with like the whatever or the 5G towers or whatever. I think they can just like move a little piece of cotton, or maybe it's made out of like graphene or or whatever the fuck material, so they can fly around sync. But I always see that, like every time I see like a cotton ball thing, like a piece of like, I think it's cotton or whatever, and like flies in front of me sync. Like every time I see that. Every time. Oh yeah, and then there was the tumbleweeds that I was seeing. I was seeing those tumbleweeds on that last video, and they were just like sitting at a sync place. I think I saw a couple of them. Or maybe they moved it or some shit. I don't know. But I think they'll just like set tumbleweeds at a sync place. Like I see that all the time, or not all the time, but sometimes I'll see that. And the first time I saw it, it was like right after, and maybe they were doing it before that too, but I don't know. But like right after, like I made a video, like I went live on YouTube, and then I was just like joking around. I was just like, maybe I'll see a sync tumbleweed one day, or a sync parachute, or whatever. You know, I was like, maybe a tumbleweed will jump out in front of me synced. I'm just joking around, right? And then like the next day, or like that day or whatever, I was delivery driving at Domino's, and then like I pulled up to a house. It was probably the first delivery of the day too, or whatever. I pull up to a house, or like I don't remember what it was exactly. It was like right when I got to the street where the house is, or something like that, or right when I pulled up to the house, or some shit. There's just a tumbleweed sitting like in the middle of the street, or the middle of the intersection, or something like that. Just like sitting there. It's like sitting there, like in the middle of the street, and then like I've seen it like a bunch of times since then too. Like it's always, it just seems like every time I see a tumbleweed, it's like sitting in a place where they sink at, and then like a car will honk when I walk by it or whatever, something like that. Maybe not, you know. But I think it's synced. And then like I saw that Target bag the other day when I went to a delivery. I saw a Target bag just like sitting by the side of the house that I was delivering to, and it was just like had something in it, just like trash, and it was just like sitting on the side of the house. And we like walked around the house to the back door, like they weren't answering the door, so we like walked around the back door and we like walked by this Target bag that's sitting there. I don't know if it was a sink, and maybe like there's this guy vacuuming across the street. Maybe he turned on the vacuum at the same time, or there was a dog barking at the same time when I walked by it or something. I don't know. I might have missed a sink or something, but it might have been a sink. It might not have been a sink Target bag thing, but I think sometimes it is though. Like they'll just have a Target bag sitting there, and then like there's that video the other day where I was recording and I would like walk up to Walgreens. They know I'm going to Walgreens, and like I'm drinking this one of these coconut waters in a can, right? And I'm like, so like they probably know that I'm gonna chug it and then I'm gonna throw it in the trash can when I walk in the door, right? So like when I walk up to Walgreens, there's just a Target bag, and like there's people walking out sink. They might have like put it in their sink or something. I don't know. But like when I walk up to the trash can, there's just a Target bag, and Target is like way across town too, or like it's pretty far away from Walgreens. You know, like maybe like obviously they probably drove over there or whatever, but like I don't know. It was just weird. It was just like there's like a full trash can, and there's just a Target bag sitting on top of the trash, and just like right in the like opening of the trash can. Like I pointed my camera at it. It was just like sitting there, and the Target logo was like facing like out of the trash can. It just seemed like a sync thing. And then there was one day where I was walking to work when I worked at Domino's, and like I walk by, like I always walk up the street when I would go there. Like the street that goes like by the library, that the library's on, and Domino's is on. I would always walk up that street and like walk past the train tracks on that street, right? And like right by the train tracks, there's like this pole, like right before the train tracks. Not the train crossing pole, but like another pole, like a smaller pole. There was a Target bag tied to it, just like an empty Target bag. And like there's probably cars driving by me at the same exact time or whatever. But like I think it was a sync thing. It's just a Target bag sitting there tied to a pole. And then like I've seen like Target bags just like sitting like by the sidewalk that I think are sync sometimes. And then occasionally I'll see people walking by me with Target bags are really rare, but occasionally I'll see people walking by me with Target bags, and usually when I do, they're like, it's like really far away from Target, and they're walking. Which like I walk all the way across town all the time, so like maybe, you know, they're a walker like me, but like they're sync though. And they probably didn't go to Target and shop. They probably just, someone gave them a Target bag. And then there was the one time, I made a video about it, but there was the one time where I did laundry in my grandma's house. She's always synced. You know, and I love my grandma. She's always nice to me, but she's always synced. And like sometimes she like ghosts me and does weird shit, but like she's nice to me though usually. And I think she like loves me and whatever, but she's always synced though. She has to sync. But anyway, one time I did laundry at her house, and there was, and then like I left it there. So I was like, I'll come back and get it tomorrow or whatever, because it was taking a long time to do the laundry and I was tired. So I was like, I'll just go home, come back and get it tomorrow or whatever. Um, or like she came and dropped it off at my apartment, and when she pulls up, it was in a Target bag. It was in like a giant Target bag. I think I still have the bag somewhere, maybe. But it's in like a giant like it's like a garbage bag size Target bag. The giant Target logo on it. And like who knows, maybe they like pulled up to her house and they're like, put it in this, give it to them in this or whatever. I don't know. But she drives a white SUV, or she has like multiple cars, but one of them's a white SUV with a 42 license plate. And like I don't know. It's just like, do they give them cars? Do they give them free cars? Or what? It seems like they give them free cars to drive around. I don't know. Like discounted cars. They probably don't pay for their gas though. They gotta pay for their own gas and drive around in circles. Maybe they give them gas gift cards or some shit. I don't know. What else was I gonna talk about? I don't know. I think there's some other shit I was gonna talk about. Let me think. But like I said, like gang stalking simulation, just made that video where the gang stalker was crying. There was one time where I saw a woman crying because like I was like, I didn't record it, but like I was outside and I was like in a bad mood. I was like freaking out over the gang stalking shit, and I was like broke as shit, and like it's like nobody can help me or hear me, and nobody acts like I don't exist or whatever. So I was just like freaking out, and I was just like, just looking at around everybody like, it was like yelling at cars or whatever I was doing. And then like I look over at this stalker and she's getting in her car synced, and she's like, I think she had sunglasses on or something, but she's like looking over at me, and she she I guess a sad look on her face when she looks over at me, and then she like starts crying, like literally crying, like legitimately crying. I think, not acting. Like sometimes I think they do shit like that and they're acting, and then they'll be like laughing later or whatever. They'll be like mocking me later or whatever. But like I don't think she was acting though. And then like my grandma too, like she looks like sad about it sometimes, and like I like yelled at her one time. She looked like sad, and I was like, sometimes I'll like flip out on a stalker, and then I feel bad after it, because I'm like, damn, I think I really hurt their feelings, and they don't want to stalk. And then like one time my mom came, and she was being really weird to me, like right before that too. She's saying a bunch of fucked up shit, and then she like, and like I haven't seen her in a long time too. And then she like pulled up. She was like in town, and she was like, "I'm outside. Come out and see me." So I was like, I didn't really want to go out and see her almost, and I was like, I'll go out and see her, whatever. And she wanted to give me a hug, and I didn't give her a hug, and then like I felt bad about it immediately after. And she looked like she was about to cry and shit. And she looked like legitimately sad. But like she was saying a bunch of fucked up shit right before that, like I said, like gaslighting me and all this weird shit. But like it's like they're forced to say shit and like laugh, synced and whatever the fuck. Like they're forced to say things and like say fucked up shit and ghost you and do all the weird shit and make you feel like they're like they hate you or something, but they actually don't. They just have to do it and they can't quit, I think. And it looks like that with a lot of them. And some of them, it looks like that. Like every time I see them, they look depressed. And they're like, I'm about to sink on you, but I don't want to. Sorry. You can see it in their face, and like they might glance over or whatever. But then they're like not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to like even say anything or whatever. Like they monitor like every little expression they make and every little thing. And they probably see through people's eyes and shit. And they can like monitor everything, you know. So like it's like they can't say anything or like even like look at you in a way or like they can't do that even. Or maybe they can, but like if they do, like they're just like allowing them to or whatever. It's like letting them give you like a little hint or whatever. But then they have to walk away right after and be like, see ya, I gotta go. Or whatever the fuck. So this is like a lot of them. They look like that. They look like depressed, and then like some of them, like coworkers, especially, will like it'll be like a new coworker, and then they'll be like mocking me, and they'll be like laughing and shit, and looking like they're having a good time. They're like getting gift cards, and they're like, yeah, and then like, and it could be that they just like the job, you know, like maybe they're just tired of the job itself, like that I'm working at. Like they start, because like I'll get that way at jobs. Like I'll start off like loving the job, and then like a week into it, like I'm like exhausted, and I'm like, damn, maybe this isn't so great, you know. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's like the job itself, but I don't think so. It looks like looks like they like start off like loving stalking, and they're like, haha, and then like a week into it, or like a few weeks later, or whatever, they look like depressed. From that point on, they just look like fucked up. It's like they realize like I'm not a terrorist or whatever, you know. It's like they like have a conversation with me, and they're like, oh, this guy's kind of cool maybe or whatever. Like they're like, you know, it's like that, I think. So it's like a lot of times, and like a lot of them are like that every time, like I said. And then a lot of them aren't like that. They're like laughing and mocking me every time. They're just like a narcissist piece of shit dickhead. And like the yeah guy, he's just like driving by me. He's like, yeah, you know. And then like the cops are always like waving and smiling when they drive by. But then again, like I said, sometimes they're just like, I think they're just like forced to like smile or laugh or like look like they're like do a mocky thing or whatever. But they actually don't hate you. They actually feel fucked up about it. Sometimes, you know. I think some of them are like that. So like I've said like fucked up shit to my mom and my dad, and then I look back and I'm like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But then again, they shouldn't be stalking me. But then again, maybe they didn't sign up for it willingly. I don't know. Maybe they're just like forced into it. They just like wake up one day and a robot's like, you gotta do this or you're gonna die, or some shit. I don't know what the fuck. And then there's like children that grow up stalking. There's like people that are stalking from the time they're an infant. And how long has it been going on? I don't know. Maybe my parents have been stalking since they were infants. I don't know. You know? So, I see this whitey driving out, and I see like red and blue cars, and I see another black truck in the background. I see a bunch of whiteys, and I see stalkers. And there's this red semi parked outside, and he's got a 320. He's got 3222 on the plate. And he's probably a Synchead, and he's gonna take off sync. I don't see him yet. Truck's just sitting here. He's probably gonna take off sync. He's a red truck. He's probably gonna take off when red and blue cars drive by or some shit. He probably pulled up synced, and he's probably like synced, and probably slammed his door synced. I missed it, or maybe I heard it like I was talking or whatever. Maybe he did it when I got home. I don't know. I don't know when he pulled up. Probably synced though. Sitting right outside my apartment, and he's probably a Synchead. So, trying to think. I don't know. There's some other things that I think I was gonna talk about, but I forgot. And then there's other things that I could talk about, like I said, there's stalkers that are like nice to me, and like I don't talk about all the shit that they do, like all the time. So like, or like I won't point my camera at them sometimes because like they're just like have this look on their face that's like, fucking sorry, man. And then like there's been stalkers where they say I'm sorry, and it's like they're saying I'm sorry. It's like they're saying I'm sorry because they're like getting in my way or whatever. But it's like they're saying like I'm sorry, I have to do this. Like the tone of their voice is like that. It's like occasionally they'll be saying things like that, or they'll be like giving me a look that's like that. Where it's like maybe they allow them to say that or whatever. Maybe they're just like allowed to say a little bit or whatever. But like if they go too far with it, they're gonna be like, and they're gonna like that person that said that. There's been a couple other stalkers that did that, but that person that time that was like, I'm sorry, man. Like they were a coworker and they like quit. They like left the job like the next day or like a couple days later or some shit. So like I don't know if they were like, I think they were already quitting when they said that, but like they were already about to quit, but like I don't know. So and then it's like they'll be nice to me, and then they'll make them do a thing that's like annoying as fuck or like fucked up or whatever, and it's like to make me like hate them or whatever, but they're like being nice to me. I think, it's like to like, you know, or like we'll be having a conversation and like I'll be making them laugh or whatever, or like we'll be like connecting on some level or whatever, and then like they'll send another stalker in to like they'll be like, I gotta talk to you or whatever, or like they'll like have the stalker that I'm talking to like walk away, or like their phone will ring or something. Like it's like they don't want me to like vibe with them or whatever. Or like we'll be vibing and then like later on they'll be like mocking me or like sneak dissing me or like acting weird or like ghosting me or just doing weird shit. It's like they like try to like turn people against each other and just whatever, and try to turn other TIs against each other too, and like make TIs think that each other is a perp and just whatever, and like turn stalkers against each other even maybe. And then like I said, it's like the stalkers are stalking each other. It's like to keep each other in line, I think. It's like the stalkers are like stalking each other as they're stalking me. Or they're like, they're doing sync things simultaneous with each other and whatever. And like, and then like if it's like a coworker or like somebody if I'm like with my grandma or whatever, or like if a stalker is like with me like all day, it's like they're being stalked. It's like for that day, they're being stalked with me. Like they're giving me a ride or whatever. And like the whole time I'm with them, they're doing stalker things, but like they're being stalked with me at the same time, basically. You know. So it's like, do they ever? Like, I'm sure they get tired of like sirens going off at 3 a.m. for no reason and shit, car alarms and shit. And then like they'll cough and a siren will start at the same time. And it's like the siren is syncing on them and me at the same time, basically. So it's a lot of shit going on. There's probably more things I was gonna talk about, but I think I'm gonna get off now. I'll probably remember right when I turn the video off or whatever. And then probably when I end the video, it's probably gonna be a number or whatever the fuck. Or I'm gonna end the video, and then I'm gonna post it on Twitter and Facebook, and then right when I post it last time, right when I posted on Facebook, it's gonna say 33 on the clock or whatever. Some shit. Or the time is gonna be a sync number, or it's gonna be both, or whatever. There's a notification coming in on my phone right now of the Apple News like text message or whatever. Those pop up synced all the time. It popped up right when I plugged my phone in the wall. And I'm about to end the video, maybe. So those are always coming up sync. Sometimes it'll be like an article that it seems like that is like a directed conversation thing. It's like the article title, or it'll be like Chase Bank. Whatever the fuck. I always get like Chase Bank ads synced because my name is Chase. So there's a lot of syncs going on. Oh yeah, and then I'll get like text messages and like from like spam numbers, and they'll usually have like a 33 number, 322 or whatever, in the phone number, 666 or whatever the fuck, 84, 86. So what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, TV ads will be like when I worked at Domino's, they would have the TV on, and like at other places, like another job that I worked at, and like I think at like my grandma's house and stuff, like when there's a TV on in the room, and like right when I walk in the room, like I would be working at Domino, and this happened a bunch of times too. Like it's not one time that it happens, and I'm like, oh, it's a sync thing. It's like it's happening a million times. It's like it's happening a lot of times. Like not every time, but like a lot of times it's happening. So it's like I was walking into Domino's. Here comes the guy in the truck finally. He's got a red shirt and he's getting in the truck as a whitey drives out behind him in the parking lot, driving out of the parking lot right behind him as he gets in. And then there's another car taking off the side of the street as he starts to drive behind him. Right behind him. From my perspective, he's in between me and the car as he takes off. But yeah, like right when I would walk into Domino's, it's like they just did that to like distract me, and then I almost forget. Like they'll just do shit like that to distract me, and then I'm like, what was I talking about? I forgot. It seems like they do that all the time, but like, or they do that all the time. I think that's what that was. But anyway, I would walk into Domino's, and like right at that moment, there would be a Kit Kat ad or a Chase Bank ad, or like, cause my name's Ilcat, Kit Kat, or like whatever. There would be like a white SUV ad, like a Ford commercial or some shit. It's like a white SUV. It's like the ad starts like right as I walk in the door, and it's like it's a smart TV too, so it's like with the smart TV, I don't know about like regular TVs, but I think with the smart TVs, they can just like flip ad, like, cause like every ad is like 30 seconds or 60 seconds long or whatever. They're all like the same length, so they can probably just like choose ads. Just like the TV can just like choose whatever ad, and probably even if you're not a target, like they have targeted ads for you, like, you know, like if you're talking about like something and then the ad pops up like right as you're talking about it or whatever. Like even if you're not a target, it's probably like TVs probably do that to like everybody, right? And then like I don't know, maybe like satellite radio and shit too. I don't know. It seems like there'll be sync songs coming up when like I'm in a car and they got satellite radio. I don't know about that one, but like, cause I think they just play. It's just like a radio station, you know. But like, maybe the radio DJ is choosing songs synced, like fucking Truman Show, where he hears the guy on the radio. He's like, he's turning. I know the like the radio guy comes back on. He's like, whoa, looks like we got an interference. That happens sometimes. Like the sports announcer guy is always synced at the football field. He's always talking synced on the loudspeakers. And I think I've heard other like TIs talking about how they'll hear, like they'll be listening to the radio. I haven't tested it out, but I've heard other TIs talking about like if they listen to the radio, like the radio people will be syncing up or whatever. They'll be like direct to conversation talking on the radio station. whatever the fuck. So I think I've experienced things like that, but I don't know. But like maybe if I turn on the radio right now, I'll hear them talking synced or whatever, and they'll be like I'll take a drink of tea and they'll be like, I love tea. I love drinking tea in the morning. In green shirts. I don't know. But I hear a bang sound as the mail truck drives through the intersection right now. I see a school bus. He's gonna sink. He's sinking with the Pocket Express fan right now. Those are both always synced, and they're syncing with each other at the intersection right now. I think I saw a Pocket Express fan a bunch of times in the last video and like the last couple videos, I think. It's always synced every day, multiple times a day, every time I see it. So, I'm sure there's other things to talk about, but I'll talk about it later, y'all.